Welcome back to our weekly yarns. Well, been a very long time, hasn't it? And today's video I thought was going to be about our final drives, because about 4 weeks ago now, I did pop a little post up in the community area. I sent the drive shafts away to be machined and welded and remachined again down to size because of the damage on the seal running surface for the double seal on the end of the axle. And I was told that that would take about 5 days to do. Well, here we are, I think about 4 weeks later, and I still haven't gotten them back yet. So been a little bit of a delay. So as you can see, we've got PTO's got a coat of paint on it. Now, again, this is going to be a little job next couple of weeks. If you go back to this video here, you'll see that when I took this off the tractor, the oil feed pipe that comes from this end, from the pump and from the axle, comes through here and it goes into this PTO piece at the back where the two gears are. Now, if you go back to this video here, you'll see that when I took this off my tractor, the pipe that supplies oil to the PTO was actually totally missing. It wasn't corroded, it wasn't damaged, it just was totally missing from the four-way union that sits up here somewhere in the back of the axle. Now I know Shane has had his PTO off, so I messaged him last week and he sent us some pictures back, because I had gone through his video, I'd gone back through his video to which he had took his PTO off and solved a few problems with the hydraulic pump and that. But on his video he didn't show either a shot down into the PTO itself, or it wasn't clear from the angles that he had on the video that's published where the pipe went, because inside here you can see quite clearly two holes, one up at the top here, one down at the bottom. Now I thought to myself, does that pipe come through into here and splash oil on this gear system here, which is the hydraulic pump drive system, or does it go through this top hole up here and spray oil onto the PTO wheels in there? So I messaged Shane, hoping that in his editing he had some images, or in his mind he knew where this pipe had come from and where it went back to. He sent me a couple of beautiful pictures, put them up here for you, a couple of beautiful pictures of this pipe arrangement, and it in fact goes through that hole, the top hole, into the PTO system at the back, and it pumps oil onto those gears to lubricate the PTO. The hydraulic pump end of it just simply gets splash lubricated from the oil that's in the back of here. Another thing that was missing, from the top of the pump to the pipe is a small gauge bracket, light gauge flat steel bracket that holds the pipe in place, that stops it vibrating and wearing through by contact and castings and whatever. I've got one of those to make. But you see, we've got everything else ready for when we get, I've got all my bits up here for the internals for this. We've got the seals, the O-rings, everything that we need to put this back together. All we need to do now is get our shafts back. And as I say, I thought they would have been back by now. So in the meantime, what we're going to do, I've got a crate down here. We're going to go through the crate and show you some goodies that we've been acquiring. Let's have a look at it. got a text message off a friend of mine the other day, and he said, I've left you some bits and pieces up in your shed. I've gotten them from a job that I've been doing. So let's have a look. So this is what we came up with. Big box of tricks. Now I've had this about a week and a half now, because I wanted to order some bits and I wanted to get some bits done, and I'll show you those bits as we go through, but I wanted to get some bits done. This box is full of measuring equipment. So what we've got here, we've got here Mitutoyo vernier height gauge. It's imperial and metric with the adjustable measuring. Now I got this in this condition. It came with 2 knives but no clamp. I'll shift that handle in case you cannot see. So it came with that knife. Got a step on the inside. So you can pop it on there and clamp it up. Came with this knife. Now we call these knives, a lot of people call them scribes. So I've ordered the clamp, and the clamp arrived within 2 days, and they sent us another knife or a scribe with it. But unfortunately this scribe hasn't got enough step in it here to zero out down here with this particular height gauge. That doesn't matter, we'll keep that as a spare. So we pop that on there, pop that in there. Now we've got a vernier height gauge. All I need now is a nice little surface plate to work on, doesn't it? A little cast iron one or a granite one. Be lovely, wouldn't it? Do a lot of serious measurement with this kit, wouldn't you? What else came in the box? Well, as you can see, nice big digital vernier scale, imperial and metric. Lovely. Also, two lovely Mitutoyo vernier scale, manual vernier scales, internal and external. With the external, tells you there you have to add 0.3 of an inch. That one's the same, plus 0.3 of an inch. Had a little bit of a hard life, but they're probably being used on machines. A couple of the screws are bent. But you know what? It's got the fine adjustment on both of them. A little bit of bent screw doesn't matter. Digital vernier depth gauge. Again, I put a battery in this one, but it works beautifully. Next box out of the chest is let's see if we can clear a bit of space. As I say, I've had these for about a week and a half. Oh, yes. Internal micrometers for measuring bores. Now again, I haven't had an opportunity to go through these and check that these work or that they are in fact in calibration. They will need a bit of attention, no doubt. And there's a one here that the rear anvil is had a little accident. But I'm sure that could be put right. The handle's missing. There should be a handle that screws into here, so you can lower it into the bore, and then, so I get my fat hand out of the way, so you can pop it down into the bore and then do your measuring. But never mind. Full range up to 300 mil, or nearly 12 inch, and a 300 mil, nearly 12 inch. Right, next one. Most of these are in beautiful travelling boxes. There's a couple in the bottom isn't, but there it hasn't. Lovely big Imperial mic. As I say, I need to get a couple of bars just to check these, to go through them. A lot of these you think, all these are Mitutoyo. Thickness mic. Look at that, man's hardly ever been used, that one, isn't it? That's for measuring the thicknesses normally of discs or flanges, because you can pop it across like that and go in. This is a monster. 4 to 8 inch adjustable micrometer. We need to give it a bit of a clean up, as you see. This is just the sponge out of here, but I have got that other material. I've got this material that I can take that sponge out, put that material in the box. Again, just wants a bit of TLC. Comes with the interchangeable anvils. Unfortunately, the comparator sticks are missing on this one. Again, no big deal. If we really got the stage we needed that one, I could quite quickly get a set of setting up sticks. What have I got in this little box? Again, Mitutoyo. Digital micrometer. Just turn it to switch it on. 0. This is a metric. Little lock. That turns itself on as soon as you move it. Turn it, just turns itself off. Manual. Again, metric. 25mm mic. As you can see, that either needs a good clean, or let's give it a quick clean. Right, just wiped the faces in here. It was reading 25, wasn't it? It still is 25. Now, you can adjust them, but that's a long way out. I wonder if that's had a knock, because that's a long way out. Because you can turn You can turn these barrels with the little spanners that you get. Put the spanner into the hole in there and you can swivel the barrel. But as I say, that's a long way out. We'll have to have a look at that one. This is an amazing thing, an amazing piece. It is a set of papers falling on the floor, metric slips or gauge blocks as some people call them. This is a workshop set. I'll just pick my paperwork up. It's a workshop set, but somebody in the past has started replacing the missing blocks. So they've got here 60mm grade 2. This kit is a grade 3, which is a workshop grade. There's a couple missing, but not that it's going to totally destroy the set. Give them a wipe. You take, as I say, they're non-magnetic. Take the two blocks, put them together and twist them. They will stick together. That's called ringing. What we've done there, believe it or not, is by these faces are so flat and machined, and then they're polished. You can see there, they're highly polished. If you put them together and you turn them, you can actually feel it. You're eliminating all of the air from in between that face. The external air pressure, just the air pressure around here, is now keeping those two together. That's all that's keeping them together. And in that way, you can build stacks of blocks to give you the specific measurements that you're after. Love them. They're brilliant, them. I wish they had been Imperial, but there again, that's a beautiful set to be having. Now, what have we got? 6 to 7 micrometer inches. Up. Six to 7 inch. Beautiful, that one, isn't it? Again, I've got a bit of foam. I'll put a new piece of foam at the bottom of there, protect that micrometer, because that's a nice one. I'm running short of space here. Got too many toys. What have we got here? Final inspection set. Let's pop things back into their little pockets because they've moved around a bit. Lovely depth gauge. SPI, calibrated 29th 2020. Lovely smooth movement, Imperial, with the memory marker on the side. Beautiful, that. Could do maybe a little bit extra padding in there just to stop those from moving around. Now, what's this one? Big G50, what a Bowers. It's a 16 to 19, whatever it is. Oh, it's a bore gauge. Digital bore gauge. But it looks like it's got some problems going on in there. We'll have to have a look at that. Yep, we'll check on the batteries on that, and we'll see what's going on inside it. Now, this is an old piece of kit, isn't it? Another depth micrometer with the various anvils to go with it. Thimbles stuck on that one. Moore and Wright. But it's good gear, isn't it? It's good gear. See what can it. I don't think that's the box for that. Might be like. Might be. What else have we got? Optical protractor. This is going to take some. So what I've got here. This looks very old, doesn't it? It actually looks military. But what you do with this optical protractor is you measure your angles, internal, external, and then you look through the little eyepiece. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. I'm trying to find a place in there. I don't know if you can, but there's a scale. The scale through there gives you your angles. And a spare blade with it. But that does look a bit made in GDR. Germany. Made in Germany. By the Germans. Two. Not one, but two. Dial indicators. Michitoyo again. Got a little cloth. Right, let's give it a bit of a wipe. This had a little bit of a hard life, but works. Again, we might need to look at doing calibration on them. Different mounts. With the exception of the odd mic, you'll see in a minute, the odd mic. Little gauge maker, Houston, Texas. Again, the little anvil's missing out of this, but that works beautifully. That is that's brand new, that. Absolutely brand new. In the wrong box, not to worry. Now, a couple of more little mics. Little funny one, this one. Got a little 5mm test gauge with it. And that is, look at it. Slightly out, but again, that can be put right. Pop the spanner into the little hole in the back, pull the sleeve round. 5 to 25 mil, and you just throw the thing on the floor. Five fluted mic. 50 to 75 mic. All right, under. Okay, so complete bag of brand new micrometer spanners. They were thrown at the box and all. What we got in this one? Another bore mic. Measuring the bores. I need to get some batteries for this. Because I think the batteries are flat. But this has even got its test gauges with it. Test gauges, replacement heads. So you can change the size it's measuring to. Oh, we'll put my calibration certificate. Three-point bore gauge, Bowers. Oh, last time it was calibrated was 2016. I'm going to put them. No, I'm not, because if I put them in there, I'll forget where they are, and we'll end up losing them, won't we? A monster. I cannot see as ever needing that. That needs a bit of attention. It's the thimble, the whole barrel mechanism's loose on that one. Yep. That's it, sorted. Nice big micro, isn't it? Cracking that one. A Starrett 436 8 to 9 inch. And the vast majority of these, considering that age, has been really well looked after. Now, yes, look at this. A box full of mics. 4 to 5 in thou steps. That'll be the same. Is it 4 to 5? That's 5 to 6, that one. Another 5 to 6. But obviously these have all been workshop mics in their life, sitting on lathes, sitting on milling machines, on machinists' cupboards. Whether they've been supplied by the company or whether the individuals have supplied them themselves, God only knows. 2 to 3s. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 random mics there, just Buckshea mics. Right, So, a lot of this gear is, oh, I forgot to show you this as well. This is an amazing little thing. I thought it was just a pointy stick. But if I look at, I don't know if we're going to be able to see, if you look at the end, it's actually got a torque star type head. And that's for tightening down replacement cutting tips into the tool holders, of which I have 2 boxfuls next door, because the same lad, Niall, dropped me off a load of gear that's come out of a closing down workshop that otherwise would have been skipped. And this amazing piece of kit was one of the items, this one here. Now, it's a Goering 1/8" 12 TPI UNF tap. This is brand sparkling new. It's never ever cut a thread in its life. Brand sparkling new. Cracking that. And there was a couple of boxes of cutting tips. So, that was a canny haul, wasn't it? I'm not going to bother taking you through the 2 boxes, the other boxes, similar size to that, full of tool holders, boring bars, drills, dead centers, live centers. So, and I can hear some of you saying, but what's the point of all this? Well, as you know, I have been looking for a lathe, and I would love a milling machine as well, but I've just never had the space to have a one. So I went looking at a one the other day. It was a Colchester 2500, which is 2.5 meters long from the back of the headstock to the back of the tailstock. That's not the bed length, that's the overall machine length, which is just far too big for me. Too much money as well at the minute. It was just over 4,000 quid. As I say, too much money for me at the minute. Ideally, what I would like is a Colchester Master. It's big enough for what I need, big enough to do what we need to do at home. We're not getting into engineering production, so we don't need good, strong, solid machines. We just need something we can tidy up threads on, make some bushes, make a bit of steel work. Oh, forgot, I did make these. See there, I've got depth gauge, comparator. These came in this box. Now, what I've done, because they weren't in boxes. So what I've done is, I've 3D printed that little box to keep that in. Right, that is a comparator. So you can set it up in a magnetic clamp, set your tolerances, and you can be perfect that for measuring the comparisons between how far sleeves stick out of engine blocks. And I just thought I'd write the name on the lid so I haven't got to open the box up every time or that I forget what's in it. My depth gauge, again, just made a box up for it. This one's a very neat fit, but it's a good fit, so it's going to protect it. And we have the probe that goes with it. Normally these come in big square boxes because they're normally kept in that format. So, and then what I did was As I say, I just measured them up, 3D printed a couple of boxes to put them in, keep them safe, right on the lid so that we can see what we've got inside. And then they can go into the toolbox at home, out the way. So that's quite a haul, isn't it? What we're going to do now, find somewhere to keep it safely, because obviously with it being measuring equipment, you don't want to just left lying around in the garage anywhere, do you? You want it looked after properly. So we haven't got the ability to make a box for that, because that is just too big, too tall. I might make a wooden box, because they normally come in a wooden protective crate. So I might actually make a box for that. And then we can get it put away with some silica gel in it, keep the damp off it. Give them all a nice coat of give them all a nice coat of light oil to protect them. Right, well that's it for this yarn. As I say, I was hoping to be coming back with a video about either putting the PTO on or reassembling the final drives. Unfortunately, didn't happen this time, did it? But by the time you guys see this video, we will either be on holiday or back from holiday, and hopefully we will have then our drive shafts that will allow us to reassemble those units. One of the problems I've got is I can reassemble them, but once I put them on the tractor will not fit back in my garage at home unless I take down the shelving at the side, the wood shelving, which is at the left hand side of the garage as you step in the little door. The ones, probably the shelves that you see most of. If I can get half of those down, possibly up here, then I can get those on. It'd be nice to get the wheels back on, wouldn't it? And get it rolling. Even though the wheels aren't complete and done, it would be just nice to be able to get it rolling in and out of the garage. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. Right, well that'll wrap it up for this video. Thanks very much for visiting. As always, your time is greatly appreciated when you come visiting us. If you found it useful at all, please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe so you don't miss any more videos that we've got coming along. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the next video will be either the PTO on or the rebuild of the final drive castings. We're shooting off for a week's holiday. We'll be back, and hopefully by the time we get back, these shafts will be completed. Everything will be sorted out, and we'll be able to lay the internals out on this bench and work up to get one of the units back together. And remember, as I always say, don't overthink it. It's only nuts and bolts. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.